The main positive, I think everyone would agree, is we came up with a bit of an arrangement, and I said to my wife, look,
G'day, I'm Jason and welcome to the 7th episode of Fit for FIFO. This week we meet Mike Demecki, who resides in New Zealand and travels all the way to Australia, often on a fortnightly basis for work. He shares with us how he manages this, talks about some of the rosters on offer in FIFO, and also has a very important message for new FIFO workers. Hope you enjoy it, and here it is.
Well, thanks for joining us today on Fit for FIFO.
Pleasure.
Tell us a bit about what you do in FIFO, mate.
I'm a mechanical fitter, and I've been in it for 2 years roughly. Worked initially in the upstream projects in the Surat Basin, and then the last several months here at Curtis Island at the LNG plant.
And what's your position in FIFO? What sort of work do you do exactly?
It's mechanical fitter special class is my job title, and I've been working with commissioning crews in commissioning and startup of the mechanical equipment.
Yeah, right. And how did you get into the FIFO industry? What's your background previously to this?
Yeah, okay. I was over in Western Australia trying to get into the mining industry.
Yeah.
And I got a start there, and after 3 months got made redundant because the iron ore price went through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So what was supposed to be a long-term contract got pulled out from under us, so I was out of work. So I did get local work in Perth for a while, but then we decided to come east and try and chase this gas industry work here.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Took me a little while to get a start, and the start I did get was with a smaller company that had supplied equipment into the gas fields, and there was quite a lot of commissioning work to be done, so
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to get a start with them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of compressor work, and luckily I had compressor background from previously. I hadn't worked in oil and gas at all.
Okay.
But I did have compressor background, so that's what got me in the door initially.
As a young fellow, so you did a mechanical fitter apprenticeship, did you?
Yeah. Did my time as a fitter and turner.
Okay.
And then I've worked in all sorts of different industries over the years, mostly doing maintenance fitting.
Yeah.
All sorts of industrial sites, manufacturing sites, and also I did 20 years in engineering management as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then made the conscious decision to step away from working in an office. I wanted to get back on the tools.
Yeah.
And do that, and so that was part of the reason for going into oil and gas too.
Yeah, okay. In this gas industry, there's a few mechanical fitters that they've got different backgrounds, that they've come from different industries. Is that right, guys you work with?
Yes, there is. There, a lot of them are mechanical fitter, apprentice trained tradesmen, but
Yep.
there's also I've come across motor mechanics, diesel fitters. Those are probably the two most common other areas that people have come out of to come into the work that I'm doing.
So how many years, did you say you've actually been in total?
In FIFO, just over 2 years.
2 years, right. And what are some of the positives and things you like about it?
The main positive, I think everyone would agree, is the money. You certainly can make far better money than you can make working in town. So that's, certainly for me, that's really the positive. That's why I'm doing it. In addition to that, the opportunity to work on some of these huge projects, they don't come along all that often.
Yeah.
And to be in there at the startup, where you can get to go around the whole plant, see a whole lot of different aspects to it, and be involved in the startup of it, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So it's an experience that I can take away and look back on.
And how about the negatives and things that you dislike about FIFO?
Yeah, for me the hardest thing is the time away from home.
Yep.
I've worked a few different rosters. When I first started doing FIFO, I was doing a 2-and-2 roster,
Right.
and that was pretty good. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Then the next project I went to, that changed to 19 and 10, I think it was, and then now we're doing 28 days on, 7 days off.
Right.
And of the 7 days off, it's really only 6 days, because the 7th day you're travelling back to site. So you pretty much, it's a dead day as far as doing things goes.
Right,
So yeah, the time away from home is the hardest bit, I think. 4 weeks is a long time.
Yeah. And how do you best deal with these with that problem?
Regular contact with home. We just make sure that we're on the phone every day.
Yeah.
Text messaging in the morning, through the day. We'll always communicate just with messages back and forth.
Yeah.
Just to keep in touch that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you find you have any issues like with making conversation, because there's not much changes in 28 days out here, really, does it?
Yeah, I'm really fortunate in that regard. I guess I have talked to other guys about that.
Yeah.
But no, my wife and I, we can talk for quite a long time.
Really?
So we don't have a problem with that.
Could you see how that could cause issues if you haven't got much to talk about, especially out here when you're tired after a 12-hour day?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that does happen occasionally, and
Yeah.
so no, you just have to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, look, I need to have a short talk tonight because I want to hit the hay early.
Yeah.
So, and we do that from time to time too.
Okay. Yeah. How about when you fly home for your R&R, like the first day or two you come back? What happens when you get back? You sort of.
I generally try and work things so that the first day, at least at home, we don't have too much planned, so that I can just enjoy being at home. It's quite a difficult thing, because the person who's been at home and missing you and not doing things that they would normally do because you're not there, they want to go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
And you've been away and living in a camp and working on a work site, and you just want to be at home and feel the home space.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly how it is for me. So we came up with a bit of an arrangement, and I said to my wife, look, first day at home, I just want to lay around and rest and just recharge my batteries.
Yeah.
After that, the next few days, we'll go out in the morning and go and do whatever we want to do up until lunchtime, and then in the afternoon, that's my time at home.
Yeah. Okay.
So we just split it up. We go out and do stuff, and then in the afternoon I can work around home, or I can have a rest or read a book or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that works pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Could you see how maybe other families might this might cause a bit of an issue when they come home?
Yeah, I'm sure it could do.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm lucky in one respect that my kids are all grown up and gone.
Right.
So there's only my wife and I at home, and so we're free agents to do what we like to do with our time.
Yeah.
Whereas, those with the young family, kids at home, there's a whole new set of demands on your time at home. And I've talked to colleagues about that, and they do feel like they owe it to their family to spend a lot of time racing about and trying to pack as much as they can into that week at home. Yeah. Which that must be pretty tiring at times.
What would you have in the way of advice for maybe someone just starting out in the industry, like in regards to planning or anything they need to know before they get in?
Yeah, I think one of the key things is to remember that certainly if you're doing this project type work that you and I have been doing, get it firmly in your head that it's not going to last forever, and keep that in mind with your finances. The temptation to spend money when you've got money coming in that's pretty good is very real. We've been quite disciplined ourselves, and we've saved hard. because the day will come when the project finishes and you're back home without a job. And I've had one spell in the time that I've been doing this where I was out of work for 4 months in between jobs, and the bills keep coming. So if you haven't saved and made allowances for that, then you can get in trouble pretty easily.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Next week we've got Mike back for part 2 of his interview, where he discusses the best way to prepare for your next FIFO gig. He also tells us how he best gauges whether FIFO work is ramping up or pulling back, which I think is really important so you can stay best prepared for the future. If you have any questions, comments or feedback for Mike or myself, please leave them in the comments box below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook and give us a follow on Instagram. Here's a preview of next week.
In the time that I've worked with you, I've noticed like you're always very like positive and stuff. I've never really seen you down or have a bad attitude towards anything. Like a lot of other guys, I suppose, who work around, they'll have their down days and they can be really negative for a whole day or a few days in a row. What would you attribute that to, like your positive attitude? How do you keep that, maintain it?
Probably the main thing for me is that I believe that
that's what it's all about.